Hi there. Welcome to the Interesting Health and Safety podcast. It's Colin here. I'm also on video today, and we're going to be using a video on LinkedIn and on Instagram and Facebook and things like that. I want to talk today about ditching the numbers. So what we're talking about is risk assessment. I don't know what kind of process, what kind of system you have in place when you do your risk assessment process, but I find a lot of businesses when they are looking at doing risk assessment, they get very hung up on the numbers, the likelihood and the severity, and multiplying the two together, and sometimes the frequencies in there as well, which makes it a little bit more confusing. And people sometimes they just manipulate the numbers so that it fits. So what they do is they do risk assessment rather than assessing risk. And really, what we want you to do is I want you to maybe just give it a go. Just put the numbers to one side, park them. Don't use any numbers. Just sit down with your team, sit down with your guys, and just say, right, what can happen to us when we do this job, and what do we need to do to minimise the effect if something does go wrong. So if and so rather than saying all, because when you use numbers, what happens sometimes is people think, well, it's not going to happen to me. A lot of people believe that, it's never going to happen to me. So when you're starting to look at likelihood, you just don't consider that it's going to happen. And so the likelihood almost becomes a fictitious figure. I want you to think about it differently. I want you to go into your workplace, and I want you to look at the risk, and I want you to look at the hazard, and I want you to think, right, this is going to happen. This is going to happen to me. Things are going to go wrong. But if they do go wrong, then this is what we've got in place to stop it seriously injuring or killing people. So go in with that mentality. It's a little bit different. Turn it on its head a little bit. Go in thinking that this is going to go wrong, and what can we do to minimise the effect that it's going to have on individuals. Really simple. Just sit down, chat to the guys, chat to the people in the workplace, and say, right then, let's look at this job. What can we do to minimise the chance of something seriously injuring or killing us? And if you can get that in place, to be totally honest with you, you don't need the numbers, because the control measures are going to come flooding out. And ultimately, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for good controls that people understand, that people believe in, and people can implement, people can monitor, people can make sure that the controls are there, that the controls in place. And the simpler you can make it, the better. It's not always possible to do that. And let's remember that the things that seriously injure or kill people aren't always the things that are the most significant. The things that kill people are the ones that are the hardest to control.